Yeah, and I think that's the purpose, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and we do have when they can come back and speak and just talk to the community,
Mm,
letting them
awesome.
know,
Mhm.
where they're at this time and age,
Uh-huh.
where they started from, how they got there. I mean, we've got a lot of smart kids. We've got doctors.
Mhm.
I mean, we've got professional kids now that are out there, and we're really honored to be a part of their journey.
That's a beautiful
Yeah,
thing, right? Like, because
yeah,
you're creating that line of
Yes.
like, oh, I used to be where you were at. I received a scholarship.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Absolutely.
I can do it. I'm from where you're from.
Yes.
You can do it.
Out west where the sun always beams bright. Midland skies keep the hustle in sight. BAM Consultants got the blueprint intact. For dreamers on the grind, they got your back. Championing dreams from the ground to supreme. Providing that spark, igniting the team. Marketing flow strategies that glean. BAM in Midland, building your dream.
Bam. All right, got an exciting episode for you guys today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. It's a long name, and I don't want to butcher it up like I'm known for. So please introduce yourself.
We are the Negro Business Professional Women's Club of Midland.
There you go. And your name is?
My name is Mary Helen Bowers. I'm the president.
All right. And your name is?
Yes, Valencia Taylor. I'm the business manager.
Business manager.
Hmm.
All right.
And I'm Michelle Carrasco. I'm the vice president.
Awesome. So welcome, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
So tell us about your organization.
Our organization, our mission is to promote and protect the interest of business and professional women, to serve as a bridge for young people seeking to enter business and the professions, to improve the quality of life in the local and global communities, and to foster good fellowship.
Okay. So there's a lot of alignment between us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Because we're all about business here at BAM and the podcast,
Mhm.
Biz Talk, right?
Yes.
That's what,
Yes.
yeah. So that's lines perfectly, and maybe hopefully we can find a way to work together.
Yes. We
Right.
would love to do that.
Absolutely.
Partner with you.
Absolutely. So what is the things that you do to foster your mission?
So we have a lot of events that we hold throughout the year. The majority of the time that we're doing stuff, we're trying to make money, locally here with all our sponsors so that we can contribute back to the kids that are graduating. We'd like to give them scholarships.
Scholarships,
Mm.
awesome.
We love giving scholarships to individuals. That way, once they do graduate, they'll go and hopefully they'll come back and they'll pay it forward in the community.
In the community, keep them
Yes.
here, right?
We
Yes.
we talk about that a lot, but
Yeah,
it's up to them to see, where they
sure.
would like to. There's not much for teenagers to do here, so I think they keep that in the back of their mind.
For sure, absolutely, right? Because that's how we want to get out,
Right.
right? Like, oh, I gotta go, but what happens?
But we tell them
Come
change
back.
starts with you. So you come back and you
Mhm.
change the things that are not working.
Right.
But we're
100%.
here to foster that with them.
Right. And I think it is up to us to start laying that foundation of growth and bringing things here that they want to keep, that they want to stay for. And I think that's happening. I think our community is growing in lots of different ways, right? Like there's all kinds of things coming down. Like we have the largest spaceport
Mhm.
around, right?
Right.
Like people don't really know that, right? Like they just think oil, only oil.
Right.
But our space industry is really something to be reckoned with, right?
Right.
And it's growing.
Yes.
Like I just got involved in esports, and esports gives away scholarships because colleges now have esports programs. And the purpose of this group of organizations that I'm in partnership with is we're now laying the groundwork for esports to really get into schools
Uh-huh.
to catch the kids who maybe they don't go play football or baseball or track or all the regular traditional sports. So many kids get left out.
Yeah.
Right.
How do they get a pipeline to college?
Yeah.
Right.
And the Olympics just opened up esports in the Olympics. That's going to be a thing now,
Oh, that's
right?
great. Yeah.
So that's something that can really develop the community,
Yeah.
Right.
right? From multiple angles, especially when you're talking about education
Mhm.
and STEM,
Mhm.
right? Because those kids they're smart and they're capable. We just got to figure out how,
Right.
and in what direction that they best suits them to evolve and grow. And maybe it's like anything else. Like majority of sports kids don't make it pro.
Right.
The vast majority is a very small
Absolutely.
percentage
Yeah.
that actually make it pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what do they do if they don't make it pro? Right.
Right.
Well, they when they got an education and they're met
Absolutely.
met people, were able to get a good job and live a great life.
Yeah.
So esports is kind of along the same
Lie.
thinking. Yeah.
I
You're
like that.
absolutely right because I know my son back in 2011, he was actually a recipient of the scholarship that the Negro Business and Professional Women give out. Can I do this? Because I butchered that name.
Yeah.
My son, Devin Savage, he was actually a recipient of the Negro Business and Professional Women Scholarship. And it does aid that child that's, not going on a sports scholarship or a musical scholarship. Any little bit helps. And I'm proud to say now, being a recipient, he's actually the vice president of Prosperity Bank for his
Oh,
branch. And
wow.
so I like to say that, the Negro Business and Professional Women
Yeah.
Scholarship helped him on his way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so every little bit helps. Unfortunately, we didn't get him back in Midland. He did choose
Yeah.
to stay up in the Amarillo area. But if we can get those young men and women to come back for our community,
Yeah.
Midland would really grow.
Yeah. And I think that's the purpose, right?
Yeah, and we do have when they can come back and speak and just talk to the community, letting them know, where they're at this time and age,
Uh-huh.
where they started from, how they got there. I mean, we've got a lot of smart kids. We've got doctors. I mean, we've got professional kids now that are out there, and we're really honored to be a part of their journey.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing, right? Like, because
Yeah.
you're creating that line
Yes.
of like, oh, I used to be where you were at. I received a scholarship.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
I can do it. I'm from where you're from.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yeah, and I have to say this. We have an array of women, a really incredibly strong women that come from different backgrounds, that do different, they have different careers. And so when you bring all these amazing women together to collaborate, we can do a lot.
Yeah.
We get a lot done.
Yes.
We get a lot accomplished. So I think that's what makes it really special to me on serving on this particular board is we demonstrate how amazing things can be when we all come together and how we can get so much further just united. And that's really the major message is that we're a very inclusive and it's just about anybody that wants to serve the community.
Bam! Welcome to the Bam Biz Talk podcast, where we cut through the fluff and dive straight into the real world wins and lessons of entrepreneurship. This isn't just another podcast. It's your toolkit for building and learning what it really takes to grow and thrive in business as well as in life. I'm your humbly eccentric host, Angel Garcia, co-founder and CEO of BAM Entrepreneurial Center, and I'm here to pull back the curtain on the strategies, hacks, and habits of successful business owners who've been in the trenches. Each week, we'll bring you unfiltered stories from entrepreneurs who have been there, done that, and lived to tell the tale. We'll uncover the moments that shape their businesses, the wins, the stumbles, and the lessons they learned the hard way so you don't have to. It's about real talk, actionable insights, and practical strategies to help you go from where you are to where you want to be. So, if you're hungry for inspiration, thirsty for knowledge, and ready to make moves, you've found your tribe. So let's dive in, get real, and build something extraordinary. You're now tuned in to the BAM Biz Talk podcast, the playbook for the bold.
But we do an array of things. I mean, it's not just fostering young people that are coming up and wanting to grow a business, but it's, getting them when they're really young. And I like the diversity because then kids see that
So important.
their self,
Right.
somebody that looks like you, and they can identify and they can go, oh, wow, and, and as a business owner, I always use that platform to demonstrate to the young women that work for me. I share everything. I think that's the whole point.
Right.
Is to share all the knowledge that you've acquired along the way on your journey as a business owner.
Yes.
And
You can't take it with you.
no.
Right.
So you gotta,
Plant the seed.
why not? There's enough to go around,
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And so
Awesome.
every time we have something, we tell people that our organization is not just you pay an amount just to be included with the organization. There's work that we do. You don't just give money to be included. Every month we do something.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, people are calling because they're having hardship. We do that throughout the year too. Everybody is hurting right now, but we try to definitely make our point with the community that we're here for you. We're there for them for Thanksgiving. We're there for them for Christmas. Valentine's is coming around, so our next little event we've got going on, we're going to do a bingo with Lame Tree.
Okay.
It's
Nursing home.
it's a nursing home that we just basically go and we give items to them that they need, like personal items, hygiene, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah.
We take lots of gifts and they just have fun playing bingo. And just, the older generation, they need that type of service.
Yeah.
They want someone to talk to,
100%.
Yeah. Rather if it's they don't have family or their family is too far away. Maybe their kids are not too close to them. Maybe they're gone. I don't know. Whatever the situation is, we're here for them. And
Yeah.
we want to make sure that we're doing what we need to do.
Yeah. That's so I'm on the board for Meals on Wheels in Odessa, right?
Okay.
And I used to deliver for years before I started BAM. And just the contact of delivering the meal. It's not about the meal itself, but it's just
Right.
making contact, because that's probably more than likely the only contact they get with the outside world
Absolutely.
all day long, right? Because like the families are too busy or the families live out of town, and I heard this crazy, or it was like a put into perspective stat, right? That showed a graph that your average person, time with the people that you love most, your parents, right? Or that love you the most, your parents. Most of your time is spent obviously in childhood, but then it drops off significantly through the rest of your life, right? And these are the people that you literally gave you life, right? And like to be separated for the majority of your life from them, right? Is just kind of like, oh wow, okay, I'm gonna go visit mom. Just
Yeah.
Makes you think about it when they leave, all the time that you could have spent with them that you
Yes.
didn't.
Right.
I think about that all the time.
Well, I just ask myself, how would I want to be treated when I reach that age?
Yeah.
What if, I don't have anyone to care for me? Are there people in the community that do care? Are they going to come out and have a conversation with me, make sure I'm taken care of?
Yeah.
I will.
I
I will do that.
Thank you.
I will do
Thank
that.
you,
I'll
Mary
come and
Helen.
check up on you.
And I think that's what the Club Sisters are about. Michelle kind of hit on it, but it's such a sisterly. I think that's what attracted me most, not only the professionalism, but the sisterhood. We bring so much to the table. Everybody has an expertise in something. And so when we get together, we just hear the different ladies where they've been on their journey and what they're bringing to the table. And so, like our latest project, or was the Martin Luther King celebration, and just to watch all the ladies bring their individual talents and expertise to the table, you and yourself, it's like, how are we going to pull this off? How are we going to do this?
Right.
And then, but when we all collectively came together,
Mhm.
it's a beautiful celebration. And I mean, I myself had to sit back and was just like, wow,
In
look what
awe.
we did. Yes, yes. It was a beautiful celebration.
Yeah. So that is a beautiful thing. And I know there's an analogy that when you're talking that came into my head. So when a community works together, right? It's creates like a beehive, right? Bees work together,
Yes.
right? And they create like the sweetest natural thing on planet Earth, right? Honey, right? You're creating beauty, right? When you're working together in harmony, everybody just makes it happen, right? You don't know how, but it makes it happen. It makes it great, right? As opposed to a spider who's isolated, you know, trapping, scheming,
Yeah.
for itself,
That-
right?
Right.
And it produces poison,
Right.
venom, right? So I think there's a correlation there, or at least a analogy that
Yeah. And I
explains
actually
it.
know a little bit about bees. So
Yeah.
you have your worker bees who go out,
Uh-huh.
and then you have your soldiers that protect the queen bee,
Uh-huh.
and you have the queen bee, which we consider our president. We're very
Yeah.
protective of
Yeah.
her.
For
So
sure.
you're absolutely right. We all have a different talent,
Hmm.
but we all work together to create that perfect honey or that
Yeah.
beehive. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah. I love
Hmm.
that. That's awesome. So how long has the organization been around?
I know it was formed in 1935.
Oh,
So
okay. That works. Yeah.
Well,
a
I mean,
long
it's
time.
90 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
90 years.
90 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. We've had a
Wow.
lot of great ladies who have gone on that was in this organization. That some names you'll probably be familiar with. Some of the names.
Shirley Howard,
Okay.
Golden Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
There's so many names.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a list. I think we had 22 names that we called out at the MLK evening event that have passed, and their legacy is still going.
Yeah. Who remembers?
Yes,
Okay.
Absolutely.
they're members. And in fact, speaking about MLK, I remember when Valencia was like, I didn't know y'all pulled MLK off the morning and the evening. How are we going to do this?
Yes. I was really like, that's a big, I've always gone,
Mm.
but I've never been a part of having
Put it
created.
together.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was, and so when Mary Helen told me, oh, that's something we do every year. And I was like, I thought it was this big, huge agency that pulled it, or multiple agencies. But when you have a group of lady of
Yeah.
what, 25 of
Mhm.
us, you know,
Yeah.
it was magnificent to pull off something.
I know I talked to Angel. I said, you could have came to MLK. We would have got to a seat. Because he had called me
Absolutely.
the day after
Oh.
we had it. And I was like, yeah, we could have let you come. You could have seen how big and amazing it
Mm,
was. But that's okay. We'll look for you next year.
that's right.
Absolutely. So, what other events coming up throughout 2025?
So we have our scholarship event that will be coming up in May. Let me try and put them in order. We're going to have the Women's Founder Day.
Oh,
Um, we normally try to do something for February, but normally we do the Valentine's. So Valentine's, and in March we have Women Founders Day. What else do we have?
Then we have the egg hunt, normally in April, in collaboration with the city of Midland. And that I really love and enjoy.
Yeah.
Just watching all the kids. But
Man, we've got so many people who come out. We've even had to change our venue because we used to do it right on the grounds of Martin Luther King Center on the side.
uh-huh.
But there were so many kids and parents that came out that it switched over to Hogan Park.
Oh, okay.
mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's really all we have this year, because it's coming to an end for us in May. We'll start and we'll reconvene, and we'll start doing all the programs all over again. And again, it could be something different. It doesn't mean we have to do the same thing.
Right.
But I know we're there for Juneteenth.
Mhm.
But we normally June and July we're with our families mainly.
Yeah.
Because like I said, every month we're doing something, and I want to make sure that the women have time for their families, as well as the community when it's time for us to get involved with them.
Yes.
June and July, everything seems to calm down.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
take a rest
Yeah.
and start over. And I know we started the year off with our Banco tournament, and I think that's something that's going to continue to grow.
What's that?
It's Banco. Have you heard of Banco?
I don't believe that.
Oh, you'll have to come. A lot of people do not know the rules. I had to learn it. It was only my second time playing, but we had we had it at the MLK Center, and we had a huge crowd come together. And the way it works, you're actually having to change tables, and you'll play with a different group each time. So it's also networking and
Okay.
fellowshipping at the same time.
Yeah.
And so the turnout was just magnificent. And it's definitely something that people are wanting us to put back on because it's more like a community event.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It's a card game?
It is a card
Okay.
game, and you win prizes.
Mhm.
Ah, okay.
It's a dice game.
Oh,
It's a dice game. So
okay.
you shoot dice, and you just I don't know, like she said, you just try to communicate and talk to each other. You're
Yeah.
networking and you're talking about things. You just make up something to talk about, but you become a team with someone.
And you would just hear the burst of laughter, from a table. And these are maybe strangers you're at the
Yeah.
table with. And
Right.
it was just magnificent. And so people started asking us, when is the next? When is the
Yeah,
next?
it was the
Yeah.
first year we did it.
Okay.
Last year was the first year.
Okay.
I had went to a bunko party and I was like, oh, I love this.
So incorporated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
We incorporated it over here and now we're doing it, and we just had so many people say they love it. So
Yeah.
we would like to do it again. We'll probably try to continue doing it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to grow and get bigger.
Sounds like something you guys probably do on a regular.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially when it involves the community.
Yeah.
But anytime we can get out there and we have people coming through the doors, for a little or nothing fee, we're drawing in the community. And like I say, we had a diverse group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fantastic. And we're actually starting to get calls. I think President Bowers were talking that people want us to start collaborating with them.
Yes.
Which is a
So-
beautiful thing, which is what we wanted to accomplish to begin with.
Right.
And so what I say as a business owner to other people is that, serving on an organization, I know people perceive it as, oh, well, I just don't have time for that. I could be doing this. I could be doing that. But what happens is you meet all of these amazing people that otherwise you would never cross paths with.
Absolutely.
And you will be amazed at what they bring to your life.
Yeah.
And how much you grow as a person. So I think, in light of COVID and all of this social anxiety that people are experiencing, it's really a healthy way to not just do service, towards the community that you live in and support the people around you, but you're really kind of helping yourself because you're growing
Yes.
with all these different personalities and people from different walks of life, and they have a story. And from that story you take so much.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great way to spend your life. It's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
We're supposed to be serving, each other. We're supposed to help each other get
Right.
through it.
Hey there, bookworms and knowledge seekers. Ever wished you could find everything you need in one place? Look no further than the Ector County Library. We're not just about books, though we've got plenty of those, from the latest page-turners to classic favorites. We're talking free high-speed internet, tech classes to boost your skills, and awesome programs for all ages. Kids can dive into storytime adventures, teens can hang out and study, and adults can join book clubs or learn something new. There's always something exciting happening at the library. So whether you're a student looking for homework help, a job seeker needing resources, or just someone who loves to learn, we've got you covered. Swing by your local Ector County Library and see what we're all about. It's more than just books. It's a whole world of possibilities. Ector County Library. Your adventure starts here.
The BAM Biz Talk podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Pachuco's Restaurant. Craving authentic and eclectic cuisine in Midland? Well, Pachuco's has you covered. Located in downtown Midland at the ever-so-legendary and iconic historic building at 316 North Big Spring Street, Pachuco's blends rich and unique flavors in a conveniently pleasant and vibrant atmosphere. Enjoy the highest quality barbecue, savory tacos, burgers, and a variety of other mouth-watering dishes that reflect the spirit of a true Pachuco cuisine. Real, authentic, and just plain different. Check out their menu at www.pachucos432.com or call 432-218-8806 to inquire, or better yet, just show up and get your shine on. At Pachucos, where heritage, exquisite taste, and hospitality come together for an unforgettable dining experience. Pachucos, Midland, Texas. Now back to the show.
It's amazing how having that clarity of serving and giving is actually very selfish.
Yeah.
Like because it benefits you the most.
Yes.
It really
Right.
does. And people
Yeah.
see it as a sacrifice.
Mhm.
But I don't think so.
Mhm.
It is time consuming. But then after you accomplish all of these amazing things, just like Valencia mentioned MLK,
Yeah.
after we were done with that event, we were all just on a cloud
Yes.
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
accomplished what we set out to do as
Mm-hmm.
a group of women.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we all did
Right.
something different, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, and that's like after weeks preparation and that proper sure that last
Not
couple of
always
days.
getting along, having different opinions, because we are a
Right.
strong-willed group of women.
Uh-huh.
Right.
But wow, to sit back and
It
watch it
was
go to
wonderful
fruition.
seeing it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And just to hear the community talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
it was just enlightening to hear all of the nice compliments we received. They're looking forward to it coming next year again.
Yeah.
Then we know we're doing our job on this
Right.
end. We're reaching the ones we need to reach.
Right. It's fuel,
Yeah.
right? To not just keep going, but to grow it, to
Yes.
expand it.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, to keep spreading positive
Mm-hmm.
vibes, positive messages, positive environments.
Mm-hmm.
We need that. We're in dire need of that.
And I think with the actual human connection, right, as opposed to the digital world that we're all immersed in,
Right.
you know,
Right.
like to have that touch point,
Yes.
you know, it's like an actual, that's what it means, community, right? Because they have to say, oh, that's an online community. That's an online, you know, like, okay, that's, I mean, that's just like a group, like online, but you're actually, like you said, bringing strangers together
Yes.
that otherwise would have never crossed paths.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know, so to organize those events,
Right.
I think it's much needed. That's where I was going with this.
Yeah.
It's needed now more than ever,
More than that.
right? To make that happen.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's a beautiful thing you guys are doing.
And I tell people who are listening, if you know they want to see it, go to our Facebook. You can see pictures of it. You can even go to our website. You can see pictures of what we're talking about. Having a visual to see what we're saying is better for you to understand. Okay, yeah, I can see all the work that they're doing.
Yeah.
You'll be amazed at all the people that do come to the events.
So tell people where they can find you guys at.
Yes, we actually have a website. So all you have to do is go in and search for the Negro Business and Professional Women of Midland
Of
Incorporated.
Midland, yeah.
Yes.
Because
And
y'all are national.
we are national,
Yeah.
but we also have our local club.
That's awesome.
So be sure and put the of Midland part.
Yes.
And you can also find us by that same name on Facebook.
Okay, Facebook. All right, so just look them up on Facebook, find them, and check out everything they got going on. And so if they want to contribute, they just reach out to you right there on Facebook or the website?
They can reach out to us on Facebook, or they can go on our website, and there is a tab that they can sponsor, and they can even help out whenever they see something they'd like to help us with.
So you're
we
looking
take-
for volunteers?
All the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Okay.
We actually had the football team of Midland High come out, and they helped serve.
Oh, okay.
So they did really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have lots of people who want to help us out. And some people they're not involved in anything, but they still want to come and be involved in it just by serving.
Right.
So yeah.
It's another outlet
Yes.
to
Yes.
get hands on the community.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's also a QRC code on the web page if they would like to contribute to the scholarship fund.
Ah, okay. Yes. Yeah. That's something that's super important.
Yes.
You know.
Always looking for sponsors.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Even the Venmo. We even have it on Venmo. I think we put that on Facebook as well.
Okay.
And it is on the website too.
So is it an open scholarship, like they can use the money to go wherever, or certain schools do you have them?
No, it's
It's
wherever,
open.
technical schools.
Okay.
Yes, some don't want to go to college. It can be
Right.
used for any higher education.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. Yeah.
And like I was explaining to you earlier, our scholarship doesn't mean you have to have the highest GPA. That's not what it means. I'm going to have Michelle just go ahead and go through all the stuff that's on our paper.
Right. Well, last year we received about, I think it was 75, 80 applicants. It was beautiful. There was one particular high school that did not hand out their applications, so those children missed out on applying for that. So we're going to make sure that this year all of those applications are out to every single school, and it doesn't matter whether it's a public or a private school. So we take applicants from all schools in Midland County. And we go through them, and what we really tried to do was find the need. And to reach out to those kids who may not be the highest GPA, and they're definitely not in the lowest part of it.
Right.
So they kind of just get left because
Mm-hmm.
nobody, is giving money to, the kids, that are got the 4.0 or going to Stanford or whatever, they've got bigger scholarship money coming. And of course, every bit helps. And I'm not saying we don't give it to those, but we really do try to seek those children that really need
Really
it.
need it.
Like
Right.
the
'cause-
first
Really
time
need it.
generation.
yeah.
Like they're the first in their family to attend school, or they're a single parent home, but these kids have managed to, recognize all of the things that they had to do to get to college, and it's beautiful to see all of the service they've put on there, that they've given back to the community, how hard they've worked in school, and how beautifully some of them can write. It was just, that's probably one of the best parts of serving on this organization. I always look forward to that day when we go through those applications. It feels good to give my time, because we're going to be giving somebody else an opportunity to do better.
Yeah.
So we're really proud of that. It's a big deal to me.
Because more often than not, that little bit of scholarship money could be the determining factor if they even just make that decision. I'm going to college.
Right.
Right. It could okay, that'll get me through the first year.
Right.
And then they're there. And then they figure it out,
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, when they have someone who's right behind them and saying, you deserve it just as much as the next person, I think that's a confidence thing for them. And it just enlightens their moment at that time. I can do it. Because there are a lot of kids who feel like, they've had a hard life.
Yeah.
They've went through some things and they don't feel as fortunate as others. And with our club, that's what we try to do. Like I said, there's a system that they go by that gives them a certain point. It's not just because you have the highest GPA. It could be the first time generation. It can be however many hours of time you put into the community, working, being involved. It can be the way you wrote the essay. There's just so many things that they have involved in it. And so I don't want anyone to feel like I can't do it because my GPA is not high enough. That doesn't mean anything. So I encourage the kids to try because you are deserving. We'd like to give a scholarship to everybody, but we
that's the
can't.
hardest part.
Yeah.
We just
want to
can't
give
do it.
everyone that applied. I wish I could just give them something.
It'd be
it's
anywhere
hard.
from like 7 to 13 recipients that receives, a scholarship.
Okay.
I think that's why I'm not on that board because they all come back saying they would like to give it to everyone.
All 80.
Yes.
Right.
And
And
it
so
seems like
I
it's
remember,
growing.
last year, we kind of ran into it. Well, we have this pile of maybe, and I was like, I've got to figure out how to get more money. So I picked up the phone and I reached out to a very, very giving lady here in Midland it's a philanthropist. And surely she gave us a gram more to give out. And, I was just, I wasn't really asking for that. Really what I was asking her is there another organization we could give these applications to so that these kids still get a chance? Like we really want to work with other organizations if they do that. Can we give you what we couldn't give? Like, can you look at these kids and see if you can help? We really want to try to help every single person that applies.
As many as possible.
Yeah.
All right.
That's our mission is to give every kid in Midland an opportunity, and for people and for us as the adults, the people in charge, to demonstrate how much we support that and how much we are willing to do to help you achieve your dreams and your goals.
Yeah.
That's really the point.
Yeah. Nah, I love that. BAM will be a partner in that if y'all got extra this next time.
Absolutely.
Because we do give away scholarships as well.
Oh,
That's
wow.
great.
That's wonderful.
And now we just kind of expanded into also medical. like especially if they want to go into, I forgot, for the heart,
To cardiology.
cardiology,
Right.
right? Because our founder, Michael, he was a heart transplant for 22 years.
Wow.
And then he received a third heart. He was on transplant list again.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that's when he passed away. But that's we have a foundation in his name. That's what we give the scholarship out to. So it used to be just business. If you're going to, if you're going to school for something that's going to get you into business, business degree. But now it's like, well, also included the medical cardiology aspect.
Yeah.
Because, the medical field is just exploding.
Right.
It is going to be explode over the next 10 years. Like a lot of the kids, like your point to, they don't have the highest GPA. Well, the school system really isn't designed to get the intelligent kids, to score high. There's all kinds of different types of intelligence.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely believe in that. I remember having a conversation with Senator Kevin Sparks, and he was really impressed. He had gone, I think it was to either, I can't remember if it was San Angelo or Amarillo, but they've created a, I guess, somewhere where children who are not going to go to college, they have no desire, but they have skills. So it's like a trade preparation, so that when they graduate from high school, they're ready to go directly into the workforce as a plumber, as a welder, as an airline pilot, as other things that don't require a 4-year degree, but they do require some sort of certification. And these kids are working towards that in high school. And it benefits everyone, because then you have kids coming out of high school going directly into the workforce, which we are in dire need of everything in Midland, in Odessa, in the Permian. The reason I feel like everything is overpriced here is because there's no competition.
Right.
And so we have to create that to make it more reasonable and more affordable for people to live here.
Entrepreneurs and small business owners, are you searching for ways of taking your business to the next level? BAM is your answer. We specialize in crafting high-performance marketing strategies that put your brand front and center, right in the palm of your customers' hands. Not only can we create a premium website full of features that optimize your social media and digital marketing presence, but we ensure that your brand gets multiple views from your target audience and even those visiting your competition. BAM is your go-to solution in the Permian Basin. But we're not just about digital and social media marketing. We're a one-stop shop offering a spectrum of services, including business mentorship, strategic planning, market research, and access to capital. That's right. We can get you funding to expand your business. With BAM, you're not just getting a service, you're gaining a partner committed to your growth for the life of your business. So why wait? Kickstart your journey to success today. Call us to set up a free consultation and discover how BAM can help your business soar above the rest. 432-247-8840. Call today and get your business launched.
But and it's crazy to me how it's a snowball effect, and it really starts with education. And how are we really getting to the source of how did we get here? How do we not have enough help for people? And it's because we're not intervening at that very critical time in their life when they really need to know. You don't need to waste everybody's time and go to Midland College for a year because you don't know what you want to do. It's not, I don't want to be an accountant. I don't want to be a lawyer. I don't want to be a doctor. I want to be a welder.
Right.
I want to be a photographer. Or I want to be something other than that doesn't require that. And there's a need for all these different positions.
There really is. There really is. Like, example, we before we put the turf out in front of our building, we had the water sprinklers, right? Well, we had a broken water sprinkler that ran underneath the concrete slab. So, it's like we couldn't just get down there and do it real quick. We couldn't find anybody.
Wow.
Like time after time we make an appointment, somebody's gonna come look at it, and it never show up. Because it's a small job, right?
Oh, so we think, right?
Well, if I were to do it, it'd be a big job.
Yes.
Probably crack the slab and
Right.
mess things up. But for them, it's an easy job because he literally did it in like 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But the problem was, it's too small of a job for them to come.
Yes, waste manpower.
Yes,
Yeah.
right. So that's one example, and then the plumber, right? Well, I have a plumber that they're my go to, so they take care of me. But when I was looking for them, I couldn't find anybody to come take care of my plumbing, right? It's a struggle, right?
Yes.
And then, oh yeah, we did take care of it. That'll be 1,300. I'm like,
Right.
wait, what? For
Right.
what?
30
Yeah, it
minutes.
doesn't work. It's still
Yeah.
broken.
Mhm.
But because, like I said, there's not enough competition.
Mhm.
And, the kid coming out of high school, they'll take that job.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come do that 30-minute job,
Yeah.
because they're just starting and they're trying to figure it out and they just want whatever work you can give them.
Yeah.
So that's really, I think that's one of the reasons why we decided like it's not a scholarship just for college. It's for a trade. It's for anything like Valencia said, higher education.
Yes.
Anything that's going to help you
Into the workforce.
come out of high
Yeah.
school and find a job
Yeah.
that you're happy doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're happy doing.
Actually, President Bowers, you probably can speak more on it also. The Negro Business and Professional Women, we actually have youth leadership that we work with. We currently don't have a group of young men and women we're working with now, but I think in the past the club has had.
Yeah, we have. We've had a whole bunch of kids come in. We took them up under our wing, and we did all sorts of things with them. But as our past president, Shirley Howard, left us, we had to revamp because we want to make sure her legacy is continuing on. So now that we're feeling like we're getting somewhere, we're going to go back into getting some more kids, get them involved again. We've got a bunch of great ideas where we want to show the young men how to iron their shirts, how to become, how to do your tie, how to act like a little young man, how to treat your friend that's a girl. There's so many things that we want to teach the young men and the young ladies. We want to show them how to do, keep their hygiene up, how to sit at a table and know what's on the table setting. Just how to go and buy you a dress when you need it for, rather if it's prom or, these kids right now, they're just doing whatever they see their friends doing, but having that background of knowing this is how a young lady looks. This is how she presents herself when she's in front of a crowd. We want to go back to the fundamentals of teaching them how to be young adults and respecting themselves and getting that respect that you deserve.
Yes, that's so important.
Yes.
So important,
Very.
because these last few generations have been raised like just kind of wild.
Yeah.
Rather if they're missing a parent or if they're having struggles that they're having to be the parent. They're not being able to be kids. So we want to teach them what may have been not on the table for them at that time, and that they can have a club sister to turn to and ask questions to make sure that we can mentor them to be that strong individual.
Right. That's amazing. Do you know Rope Youth?
Yeah, with Carl Burrows.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
he's amazing.
Yes.
And yeah, he does the young gentlemen's. And that's a great.
Yeah.
He hit it right there. You have to start by it. They have to see men
Mm-hmm.
acting like men
Yeah.
and ladies acting like ladies.
Yeah.
They have to, see that to be able to understand that it is important and how that impacts your life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is important to always put your best foot forward. I think we've created a lot of very hypersensitive kids.
Yeah.
And life is just not going to care about all that.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to hurt us. It's going to hurt them because when that adversity comes, and it will come,
That's the guarantee.
what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Are they going to crawl up all up and, get in a corner? And you can't do that. You have to, you just have to keep moving forward always in life, but we have to demonstrate that to them. They have to see it.
Yeah.
They see us giving in and throwing in the towel, well, then
That's all. It's easy for them to do that at that point.
and kids are always paying attention.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Like, okay, you're telling me this, but look at what you did.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very.
That's funny.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
minister says that all the time in church. Mr. Minister Rodney Taylor, he tells us all the time, you can't just sit up and say, do this, do that, and then here you are, you're doing the opposite. And the kid's like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
going home and watching dad do this, but up in church, he's the biggest amen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with Carl, we have partnered with him. So,
Awesome.
yes, we've partnered with him. And that was when Shirley Howard was here, our president, our past president. Yes. So, yeah, we try to reach out and definitely if we're not reaching out to different organizations, we want them to call us. We'd love to intervene with them and see what we can do collaboratively together because that's what's going to make it great.
100%. You know, oftentimes it's just that one touch point, you know, that a kid can experience.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
It makes all the difference.
Yeah.
One person caring.
Yeah.
I
You know,
think we all have someone in our lives we can go back to, that second grade teacher
Yeah.
or someone that was significant in our life, and we can still call their name and remember what they said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mine was Mr. Workman. He was a science teacher.
Yes.
Yeah, chemistry teacher. You know, he told my mom, you know, he's a smart boy. He ain't no Einstein, but he's a smart boy.
Yeah, you might not have liked what they said at the time, but just like, wow, they made me rethink
Right.
or change my thought.
Because that
Yes.
made me realize that I had to work,
Yeah.
Exactly.
right? Like put in extra work
Exactly.
if I wanted to be smart. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I just couldn't get away on just,
Yeah.
you know, being smart and okay, I can do it. You know, you made me realize I had to put in the work on top of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
I think mine was Mr. Kelly, the principal, and Mr. Carrasco. He was the assistant principal. So when I had them looking at me, I was like, uh-oh, I better get it together because it didn't matter what I was doing. They were always trying to put me in something all the time.
Yeah.
Mary Helen, I need you to do this. I want you to be involved in this. Okay. And I would just do it. So when they started doing that to me, I'm like, okay, just keep pushing.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because somebody saw something in you
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
didn't realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was Mrs. Walker, my ballet teacher.
Oh.
Yeah. And at that time, it was the 80s. And I was the only little Latina in the class from the East Side. And, you know, it was a different world.
Yeah.
And so I got kind of thrown into this, just a different part that I didn't, you know, necessarily know even existed. Because when you're a kid, you're just living in your own little space or your own little world, and you get thrown in with all these other kids from different areas, and you learn.
Yeah.
But she was, you know, she taught me discipline. A lot of discipline with ballet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, just that was probably the best thing my mother ever did for me.
Put you in.
Ballet. It
Yes.
became my passion and the love, and I love it to this day. Very, very passionate about the ballet.
Yeah. Yeah. Those experiences,
Yes.
you know, like I'd never wanted to put my kid in like the sports leagues because when I was growing up, it was good. It was great, you know, but then you go now they want to get in fights. The parents are fighting the coaches.
Yes.
You know, like, this is not a good environment to develop kids in.
No.
It's changed to where it is political,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, and the kids don't have a voice. The parents have the voice. It's not where it used to be a long time ago. You know, you could be down the street and someone could be watching your kid, and it would be okay for you to say something.
Mm-hmm.
That's old school.
That's
Yeah, it'd be like, Valencia, if you see my baby doing something, get on him, say something to him. But nowadays, you have to be careful with what you say to somebody's kids. They're not, that's not good.
No, yeah.
That does not work.
Yeah, I remember growing up, we were all over town, and
Yeah.
you know, we saw somebody do my parents. They were like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
tell mom,
Right.
Yeah. It'd be like, okay, it's okay if you pop him. You can pop him. No, you can't do any of that.
No.
It's the world has changed.
Yeah,
Well, we all say we hate politics, but we make things political. It should be.
Unfortunately.
And, you know, politics doesn't have any place in sports in my mind.
No.
Like, that is supposed to be for fun and learning and growth.
Yes.
And developing of skills.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a teaching moment, not, you know, a race to for the glory. I mean, then it's just always an effort and futility, and then we're just messing it up.
Yeah.
When we bring politics into sports and all these other areas, it's
Yeah.
parents should be like pushing each other up and lifting each other up
Mhm.
and cheering on everybody's kid and laughing and enjoying the game, not yelling at each other and
Right.
my kid should start and
Yeah.
da 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 da.
Yeah.
That's why we have a coach.
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
but some of the coaches are good and some of them,
Are bad
they're
too.
not.
Because it's
It's
political.
both
They got
ways.
different.
You're
Yeah.
gonna find some good coaches who are like, yes, I want all, and he's not even gonna look at them. I want all 5 of you guys to go out there. Okay, it's time for the other 5 guys to go in there. It, it just depends on the coach. Do you want to make it to where you're teaching them, or do you want to make it to where, let me see how much money they're gonna give us, to be a traveling team or whatever it is.
Right.
That's the political part in it.
Who sponsored the uniform?
Unfortunately, that's just life.
Yes.
It happens. But you do have some who are willing to just focus on just showing them.
Yeah.
This is how you do this. You don't like that? Well, okay, let's try this. It just gets competitive as they grow, and
Yeah.
that's just life.
And it has soured.
Yes.
A lot of kids get put into it.
Yes.
Kids
May love it when they start, but they hate it by the time they're done because
Right.
of that coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And it becomes a culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's probably soured a lot of kids from like really continuing on getting the sports scholarships. And they just gave up.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have a friend whose son quit because he said, and he was great at it. Fantastic baseball player. But he said, I just got tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he quit.
sad.
He just quit and hasn't picked up a bat ever since
Mm-hmm.
because he was just so overwhelmed and sick of all of the feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah. My nephew did that too.
And I was like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
And I bet he would have loved that game and just enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But they took that from him because they just kept pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the good thing about it. I said my nephew did the same thing. He put it down. I'm going to say it was about 2 years. He was in high school. He left from Panthers and he came over to Lee. After that, he was done. He didn't play in junior high or senior. Here's a catch. Somebody seen him and they called him after he'd been out of school for about maybe half a year. So right now, he's all the way over in Virginia. They still knew who he was.
Playing ball?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yes. And he
That's right.
didn't even go looking for it. He was done.
Yeah.
He was already working.
Mm-hmm.
They just called him up and said, come out and try out.
Because he got scouted and they
Yeah.
still had him on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so God is good.
He has a plan. We just don't know what
That's
it
it.
is.
That's
and I
it.
think with this organization too, we actually have a group of men that assist us called our ombudsman.
Ah.
And I love that because they come out, they showed up for the MLK celebration, and they were ready to help us in any way we needed, because sometimes with the tables and the chairs
Yeah.
and boxes get a little heavy for us, and I just love seeing that group of men march in with us to know that those men also have our back.
Yeah.
It's a group of women that are trying to make a difference, but we have the men saying, hey, we have your backs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it takes community
It takes the whole community.
Yeah.
It sure does.
to make it happen.
In fact, that's growing. The ombudsmans, they are so excited about coming and helping and just doing whatever they can. It's growing. Our club is growing so much.
Yeah.
I mean, we started out with maybe 6, 7, and we've turned into 20, 21 women. We have 5 ombudsmen, and we still have people calling, wanting to be involved.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because we're just talking about, how a lot of the sports can be toxic now, that your organization has events, another organization like you does things to kind of maybe be like the alternative or the placeholder or, another avenue,
Exactly.
right? That's what we need, more of, so, well, man, thank you ladies for doing what you do.
Yeah.
And what I always ask, do you guys have any parting words for our listeners, about your organization and in general something about what your organization represents and what you would want them to know.
Okay, I'll start. In closing, I would just like to say that anyone that's on the fence about supporting our organization, just know that the proceeds, donations that we receive all year long, they are strictly for our scholarship program. No one's on payroll. Your money doesn't go to anything that we haven't told you it's going to. So please, if you're on the fence about donating or wanting to be a sponsor, just know all that money is put directly back into our kids.
Awesome.
I would say that I would love for anyone who wants to be involved with us to definitely come. Support us by being involved if you want to be involved. If you are interested in being a club sister, we have an application that is on our website. If you would like to donate, all of that information is on our website. We just want the community to know that we're here and we are working for you and we're willing to do whatever we can to help you out. It's a giving hand and it's a hug when you need it. We're here.
Awesome.
Well, I think I was in shock when Miss Shirley Howard asked me to join this organization, and I think I didn't know what to expect. But I have to say that the journey and everything that I have acquired by being part of this organization, every bit of it has been positive, and it helped me certainly through this past year. My club sisters have been amazing. I've had a really rough 2024. It's behind me, but I don't think I could have survived it without these ladies. We're not doing we're all there because we want to be there. And we all understand that we all have to do our part. And it isn't a club where you just get to put your name on it and send in your dues. We really, we work really hard, sometimes harder than we want to, but it's a labor of love. And when we see what we've accomplished, it makes it all worth it, because it is a lot of strong personality, but it has to be that way because we're all very strong women, and we are demonstrating what we can do when we come together. And that's what, I want people to know about this particular organization is the Sisterhood, because we definitely are supportive of one another at all times. We don't like the negativity that's out there. I mean, our whole mission is to avoid that. So when we want people to come in to our meetings and feel welcome and feel like they have a purpose and they're bringing something to us that we need. We want people to feel like they're very welcomed. And so that's the best part of it.
You guys are setting the example.
Right. Walking the walk.
Walking the walk, yeah. Well, I love it. So, thank you guys for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Yes. It's a pleasure to have y'all. And, 2025, grow and prosper.
Here we come.
Right, we come. Come on.
We're ready.
Dust yourself off and keep going.
Yeah, there you go.
It's going to be better. It always does. It always gets better.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you guys very much. And, BAM is in. Yes, man. Would love to partner with you guys in whichever way possible, especially if you put anything together for the business aspect. That's what we do. So we'd love to help out.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And you ladies have a blessed rest of your day.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Out west where the sun always beams bright, Midland skies keep the hustle in sight. BAM Consultants got the blueprint intact. For dreamers on the grind, they got your back. Championing dreams from the ground to supreme, providing that spark, igniting the team. Marketing flow strategies that gleam. BAM in Midland, building your dream.